Which is the best antipsoric remedy? Or which remedy is known as the king of antipsoric remedies? Most of you have guessed sulfur as the answer. But there is another remedy that is equally effective in psoric manifestations. And the remedy is Psorinum. So in today's video, we are going to focus all our attention on understanding the same remedy that is Psorinum. Just sit back and try to understand this remedy in detail with the help of the movie character Murad from Gully Boy played by Ranveer Singh. Also, we will try to understand how psoric mind functions through this video since our previous video was on psoric miasm philosophy. So as we have already seen in our previous video, psoric miasm is characterized by hypersensitivity and a constant struggle to bring things back to normalcy. The same phenomena is manifested through mind of Psorinum remedy as well. To every small, unimportant stimulus or change in the environment, the Psorinum mind produces an exaggerated reaction. Thus, we see Psorinum patient getting affected by slightest emotions and is characterized by strong fear and anxiety. The anxiety of Psorinum is generated from the tremendously low self-confidence of the person, and then due to the hypersensitivity of the psoric mind, we see an exaggerated level of response. The anxiety in Psorinum is most of the time causeless and anticipatory. Psorinum patient gets a lot of stage fright. It gets extremely difficult for them to go up and speak anything on the stage, as the confidence of the person is extremely low. And the most interesting part is that this anxiety is seen even if the person is well prepared for his topic or for his performance. This is very nicely seen in Murad's character of Gully Boy, when he first recites his rap song in front of MC Sher. Despite writing such good raps, he initially gets extremely anxious. Now, this low self confidence of the person makes him irresolute and also creates a lot of mental confusion where the person just cannot decide anything. Also, the intellectual abilities of the person are affected, where the memory is weak and the patient cannot remember anything, which further affects the confidence of the person, making him in turn more irresolute. Now, Psorinum patients have a lot of fear and anxiety, especially about their finances. The patient constantly fears getting poor and has a tremendous fears of business failure. Thus, here we find Psorinum as one of the most important remedies in the rubric Mind cares full of business about his prosperous although. Another remedy that quite prominently comes up in this aspect is Calcarea fluor, which again has an immense fear of poverty. This fear of failing despite having resources and a prosperous life is a prominent feature of psoric mind, which is seen in Psorinum too. Apart from this fear of Psorinum, patient has several fears like fear of disease, fear of death, fear of going insane, etc. The fear of business failure is seen in Psorinum where the patient has this fear despite of having a prosperous business. This fear and anxiety creates restlessness in these people, which is aggravated especially at night with an inability to find comfort or peace. There is a constant need to change their position or environment. There is a feeling that if they fail to struggle constantly, they are bound to face failure or losses, which keeps them fueled. Now, there is also a strong discontented feeling, and most of it is always directed towards themselves. Thus, we see an interesting symptom in Psorinum, which is that the patient feels they have wasted their days of grace. यानी कि उनको ऐसा लगता है कि उनके जो जवानी के दिन थे या उनके जो उम्मीद के दिन थे वो उन्होंने पूरी तरह गवा दिए हैं और उसी की वजह से आज वो इतने सफ़र कर रहे हैं. Now, this constant struggling attitude is also seen in Murad's character, where we see him hustling day and night to earn money and fame for himself as well as for his family. For this, we see him doing various odd jobs throughout the movie. Now, as and when the Psorinum patient grows from child to adult, these anxieties and fears start deepening along with the heightened sensitive nature, especially towards criticism. These people just can't take any sort of criticism as they feel or take it as a blow to their self confidence. And exactly for this reason, they start isolating themselves to avoid all sorts of criticism and slowly start feeling extremely forsaken. This feeling is very prominently seen in the old Psorinum people where they start feeling that they have no one to take care of them. Now, this forsaken feeling of Psorinum slowly and steadily starts making these people extremely depressed. Psorinum patients are extremely pessimistic and thus There's extreme despair and hopelessness which is seen in these people. There's a constant fear of misfortune when they consistently feel that there is something bad going to happen with them. In the initial stages, the condition is still good where the person has some hope of psoric miasm. But as and when the mental state of the person deteriorates, this hopelessness and depressions get slowly converted into suicidal tendencies. But the remedy being psoric in nature, there is tremendous fear in them, which doesn't allow them to commit suicide. So this was all about Psorinum mind, which we have tried to learn by correlating it with the psoric miasm. Now let's try and understand the action of Psorinum on our body. Psorinum as a remedy has a great action on skin as well as on the respiratory system. Let's try and understand the action of Psorinum on both these systems in detail. Now Psorinum is a remedy which is prepared from the seropurulent matter yani ki pus contained in the scabies vesicle. Thus, it is known to produce extremely foul smelling and acrid discharges in its almost every skin condition. The discharges are so offensive that they almost typically smell like a carrion. In the majority of skin conditions of psoriasis, we notice an intolerable itching of the body, especially at night and in bed when it gets warm. The patient scratches until it bleeds. Due to such a level of this mad scratching, it is very similar to sulfur, which is another strong psoric remedy. Now, psoriasis is a remedy to be thought of in those chronic cases in which sulfur seems to be indicated but fails to act. The skin is dry, greasy looking with yellow blotches. It is indicated for eczemas which are located behind the ears, on scalp and in the bends of the elbows and armpits. These eruptions have a great tendency to bleed and to suppurate. Eruptions are found covering the head, in the occipital region or in the folds of the skin majorly. All the complaints are aggravated by open air, washing and in the stormy weather. If the remedy is prescribed based on the above totality, it gives excellent results in various skin conditions like tinea, pemphigus, lichen planus, scabies, etc. Psorinum also acts really well in various respiratory disorders, especially in the lower respiratory disorders like pneumonia, etc. The patient shows a variety of symptoms like dyspnea, aggravated by sitting up and better by lying down. It is an excellent remedy for cough which returns every winter and is aggravated by lying down and drinking anything. The patient might also present with chest pains aggravated by having cold drinks. Now, at the end, let's have a look at the few confirmatory symptoms of the remedy. Psorinum is one of the most tedious remedy of our materia medica, and thus, while selecting this remedy, thermals have to be given prime importance. Also, Psorinum is well indicated in cases where weakness persists after any chronic or viral disease, or when sulfur seems to be indicated but fails to act. Psorinum पेशेंट्स हैव अ ravenous hunger, यानी कि उनको बहुत तेज़ भूख लगती है और उनकी एपेटाइट भी काफ़ी हद तक बहुत ज़्यादा होती है and has a great craving for alcoholic drinks like beer, etc. So this was all about Psorinum. We hope you have liked this video. If you have liked it, do not forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel, and also share your valuable feedback in the comment section below.